kitchen, our whiteboard, and we had a little cutout of his face, and we're going, Lang written underneath it. But when, you do these things, you never think that that's going to come true. You never think you can end up standing next to someone admitting that you had a picture of them in your kitchen. But that's
not weird at all.
I'm sure there's many kitchens with your face in, Tom. And then through the wonders of the film industry, I got to meet up and we can chat about it, and it was all good.
Tom, can I ask about your own interest in the part? And it's a role that I imagine is really intoxicating for an actor, both kind of challenging in one way, but incredibly sort of visceral and pleasurable in another. Could you sort of expand on your experience?
Well, I just was a huge fan of Ben. Kill List and Sight Tears, and particularly A Field in England. And then I found Down Terrace after that. But I remember watching A Field in England. I was away from home. I can't remember where I was, but I downloaded it and I watched it, and it made me miss home because there was something so English about it. He doesn't realise that, but there's something in his artistic fingerprint that is very British, and all his films are British in their bones. And the combination of Ben Wheatley and J.G. Ballard was mouth-watering. Because they are, there was such a mischief in the writing, and also rigor and seriousness, and the script was an incredible read, and all of the characters were so well drawn, and Lang particularly he seemed to be this interesting creation, because he exists in tension. He's trying to disappear into his, what Ballard calls his 1,000th share of the cliff face. He wants to live in the gondola of a Ferris wheel that's suspended in the sky, basically trying to escape real life. And he's a doctor, and Ballard wrote many doctors. He himself had studied medicine at Cambridge before he became a writer, specifically because he was fascinated by the engineering of human anatomy. He wanted to understand how the human body worked as a piece of machinery. And then once he got that information, he became a writer. And I found it fascinating that he'd chosen Lang to be a doctor, someone with this professional detachment, as Wilder notes, whose detachment is challenged to engage. There's a point at which, when the shit hits the fan, Lang actually has to confront himself and confront his choices and confront who he is, and I found that really fascinating. And so anyway, I wanted to work with Ben, I wanted to play Lang, and here I am. And there was dancing in it.
Yeah, much dancing.
Can I ask you something that actually almost follows on from that, which is, this kind of descent into chaos. I'm really interested to understand what it's like on set. Does the descent into chaos remain very precise when you're being directed by Ben, or is it something that becomes quite fluid in the process of the filmmaking?
Well, Ben creates an atmosphere of permission, which is really all you want as an actor. A position of no judgment and
a little bit of judgment, Tom.
but some judgment, impeccable judgment, I might add. But that's what you want. You need sort of, with a film like this and with scenarios like this, it's about losing your inhibition, or being brave enough to be as uninhibited as the characters become. And it sounds so strange, but it was so much fun. I mean, you hear actors say this all the time. Oh, you made a film, we had a really good time, you made a film, it was so fun. This film was so fun to make because it was, I think there was something about the risk in it, and the daring in it, which is embedded in the writing as well. So it was about kind of extending towards the extremity of the behaviour.
Also, I think that the chaos of something like, it's the biggest budget film I've ever made, and felt like all the money in the world, but it's still, by normal Hollywood standards, quite a small budget. And to get what we got on screen, it has to be incredibly controlled. So, Sadly, it's not a documentary. No one was hurt.
Can I ask you about the production and particularly the